Transformers Earthspark Expedition is the latest console Transformers game. Here on the channel, I've played almost all of them and enjoyed almost all of them. Of course, some are better than others. We have things like the Beast Wars PS1 game that really are tough to get through and not fantastic games. We have stuff like the Transformers movie companion games that are actually pretty good, but they're not spectacular. And then we have stuff like Armada, Devastation, and of course the classics War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron that are bona fide, good, fantastic video games. Unfortunately, with Earthspark Expedition, I can hardly review the game other than to tell you, do not play this on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do not enjoy doing stuff like this. That's why if you're new to the channel and you go through and look, I don't really have much content like this at all. But I feel an obligation to the community in this regard to say, don't play this right now on the Nintendo Switch. Wait for a patch or buy it on PlayStation and Xbox. Unfortunately, the Switch version of this game is practically unplayable. Now, when I say unplayable, I'm not exaggerating, okay? I am the kind of as you can clearly see on your screen right here, the frame issues, right? I was going to say, I'm the kind of person that, like, I can look past minor frame issues. I'm not like a tech spec kind of guy. I'm definitely more about gameplay, and like this doesn't ruin my experience on its own. But it's pretty bad. The frame rate, even with not a lot going on the screen, dips a lot. And it can get pretty bad during combat, as you can see here. But that said, that's not even the main issue, unfortunately. This game on the Switch actually crashes and completely freezes constantly. I mean, one time when I was, and it seems to be even worse in handheld mode. Right now I'm playing docked, and I've still experienced it to the point where I cannot stream this game because it would be interrupted too much. But one time I was playing in handheld mode on the couch, and in the course of an hour, it crashed, I kid you not, 5 times, guys. Ouch. That is really unfortunate and definitely extremely frustrating, because quite often I would spawn in at the last autosave point, which would put me way on the other side of the map. And the way that Earthspark Expedition works, which should be something to its credit, is it's a series of 3 small open world maps that actually have a decent amount of stuff to do. Little side missions, cards to collect, glyphs to discover, and different unlockable items that you can get for Bumblebee to boost his power, and his cosmetics like the trail behind his car winning nitros. So hidden under this layer of just unfortunate technical problems is actually a good video game, or at least I think there is, but I can't stay in the game long enough to actually determine that. I've yet to get out of the first world after several hours of gameplay, simply because I keep crashing. And that's really unfortunate, you guys. Now, from all the reports I've seen, and of course this game's not getting a lot of coverage, the Nintendo Switch version is the only one experiencing this to this level. And I know that a lot of people are going to come in the comments saying, oh yeah, well, why get it on the Switch? Look, I play Switch and PlayStation, and I'm not a Nintendo Switch hater, because ultimately you can't just blame the hardware. The developer has a duty when they are placing a game on the Switch. They're saying we're confident that this Switch version is good. Right now, this $40 game it's unusable. It's like buying a product that does not function as advertised. And that's really unfortunate, because look, I'm not going to sit here and rag on the developers. Outright Games did a very good job on Transformers Battlegrounds. I loved that RTS game. And I don't think this was meant to be this way. I really don't. I think you know, I don't know, but I know that a lot of times with these tie-in games, there's more than sort of meets the eye to the story, no pun intended. And unfortunately, they have a lot of deadlines and rigorous things they have to meet, and that's why some of these tie-in games that are specifically, I mean, look at the frames there, you guys, that are specifically tied to a show, like this one is for Earthspark, end up being rough around the edges, and it's a lot of times because of deadlines. And I hope that the Switch version gets an update, because I can't tell you how many times my game's crashed, or I run into an infinite loading screen, or I've frozen, and just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate issues plaguing the game from actually being, you know, something that I can enjoy. In fact, recording this session right here, it's only been 5 minutes of gameplay roughly, and I'm already nervous that I'm about to crash at any given second, because I'm due for one. Actually, I've had them a lot more frequently than 5 minutes sometimes, which is obviously to the point where it's unplayable. If there was several hours in between, you know, like, you might be able to make an argument of, okay, you know, that's not great, but it's manageable, I guess, if you have a lot of patience. But unfortunately, right now, this is at a level where it's kind of unacceptable. And I hate that, because, like I said, I do want to give the game some merits. The combat is actually a little bit more in-depth than I thought it would be for this game. By all accounts, the environments are pretty cool. If albeit a little basic, they've put, you know, a decent amount of replayability in here. And I think that we could have a good game in here. And I hope that the Switch version gets the patch it deserves, to where I can experience that without having to repurchase this game for my PlayStation 5. Because it really would be a shame to have to do that. I chose to get the Switch version because I planned on covering this game in a similar way that I did with Tears of the Kingdom, in that I was going to be able to post short guides even when I was away from home for you guys, and work on getting footage that way, so that I could cover the game more regularly, rather than just when I'm on days that I'm off work. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a possibility. In fact, the guide that I put up last night on how to basically unlock Bumblebee's different color car trails took me a while to make, just because I kept getting interrupted by the gameplay issues. But yeah, you know, that guide is going to be more useful for the people on PlayStation and Xbox, unfortunately, because they're going to have a much smoother experience, at least I think. So yeah, look, if this ends up all getting fixed, then great. I'll be more than happy to cover the game, and I'll be more than happy to post a video when that update comes, letting you guys know, because I do want this game to be good on Nintendo Switch. It's just, unfortunately, right now, it's really hard for me to recommend it, and I feel like I kind of had to let you guys know, because if I didn't, it just, you know, you'd end up possibly purchasing the game before it's truly ready, you know, to actually be played, quite frankly. So yeah, I'm going to end the video here with this boss fight gameplay, just so you can see a little bit of the gameplay of the game, and, you know, maybe decide for yourself if you want to grab it on another console. And until next time, this will be Autobot Dawson Gaming, rolling out.